Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted Dungeon Master, welcoming you once again to the pre-show, the pre-game of the game, as always. You know, I gotta tell you guys, I'm really loving this AP as I explain to the hard slingers, and you'll hear it in a few moments after this. This is episode 45 of our Dragon's Demand run-through. And ironically, I think I was discussing how our book one of Carrying Crown, I think, made it to episode 32, with 33 was about leaving Ravengrow and how everybody kind of picked up the pieces and they said goodbye to all the denizens that were there in Ravengrow and whatnot. And both of these APs are 64 pages long, so I mean, we're getting a lot of mileage out of this Dragon's Demand run through. But I think a lot of it is because of all of the role play that these guys are doing, and I really enjoy DMing and watching these guys just batter back and forth. It doesn't always have to be about the combat, about the get another dice in your hand. I want to see the interaction. Anyways, speaking of interaction, if there's anything that you guys want to interact with me or any of the other fellow hard slingers, why don't you go ahead and drop us an email at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com. Visit the website, check out all of the different pages and venues. You can see the hard slingers and the hard slingers of yore on there and all of our different APs, and you can download all the old episodes from there as well. We have them all on there. Speaking of which, you could visit any one of those old APs or any of those episodes on any one of the famous podcast apps that you listen to the show on. Feel free to leave us that 5-star rating and review on whatever app you do listen to the show on. Remember, it goes a long way in helping us journey up. And speaking of that, it's weird because I get like all kinds of emails every once in a while of people that, we checked out the website. Let us know how we can help you. Like they want me to question. Give me some questions. No. You know what? We're doing just fine. What we need is more fellow slingers like all you all out there listening to the show. Remember, write into the show and let us know. So I'm not going to waste any more time. So how about we just warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 45 of our Dragon's Demand run-through. You little devil. Sometimes I make that up on the fly, but I didn't this time. I actually put a little thought into it.
Yeah, I watched that. I finished watching that last night on Amazon. That's a good show.
Jack Reacher out?
Yeah, exactly. Jack Reacher.
Are they on a second season? Is that
No,
one
it's
guy
first.
from the okay, maybe that's not the
First
same
season.
one.
Nope.
Look at David just can't get his shit together.
Yeah, there was another show
What
that
happens
they
when
had
you
the
run the
guy from
486?
The Office. I can't remember his name. But he became like
Steve Carell?
No, not him. I know him.
No. Are you thinking of
Jack Ryan. That's who you're thinking about, man.
Jack Ryan, probably.
Yeah.
He started doing he did what, like 13 hours?
Yep. He's
He
married.
started doing
David, you gonna join us, or
I'm,
we just gonna?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. Can you hear me?
I can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear
We
you.
can hear
Can't
you.
see you. There
There
you are.
he
Oh.
is.
There's that face.
Hey.
Oh Lord!
Sorry.
This is live.
There's
Sorry.
there's a new show coming out that looks really good called Tokyo Vice on HBO Max.
Oh, I have to check that out. We're
One of the
hooked up with HBO.
producers is Michael Mann, who did Miami
Vice, and
Yep.
Heat too, right?
He did Heat also. Go watch that trailer. It looks really good.
What's it called? Tokyo Man.
Tokyo Vice.
Oh,
What's the plot
Tokyo
summary?
Man.
Is it, if you had to give like the Reader's Digest, what?
American reporter in Japan reporting on the Yakuza.
Ooh,
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah.
At
like
some
a-
point, does he join them?
No, it's got Ken Watanabe in it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
from
Dude from A Hangover?
Last
from
Samurai,
Last Samurai, Godzilla, Godzilla.
Inception. Yes.
Yep, all of that.
he always plays like a Zuza.
He always plays an Asian.
Yeah, that too.
He's typecast. He can play other things.
Yeah, it looks really good though.
I don't know.
He always
Man.
looks like a villain.
I think we're We're gonna have to stretch outside the box there. I got Ryan in profile. He was not happy.
Oh, sorry. I was trying. So to answer the NPC question, I was actually trying to look up the name of the NPC on like the old wiki that we maintained on Obsidian Portal for the old game.
Okay. While you're looking that up, let me go ahead and lead us in. Been a while, guys.
Yeah.
Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Is I, your trusted Dungeon Master Brian, and with me, the Hard Slingers.
Yeah.
Episode 45 of our Dragon's Demand run through. As I mentioned previously, if there are any rules or mechanics that you would like for us to answer, please feel free to write into the show at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com. I'm sure that if I fail to give you the answer, my man Ryan can take care of that because that guy is super, super smart. So please feel free to write in.
Yes.
Obsessed? Yes, he totally is.
Obsessed?
So I recently had a snafu with my player's handbook. The center of it fell out, about 40 pages of it, right out of the binding. So I actually contacted Wizards and spoke to an individual named Marlowe. Marlowe, not Merlot, Marlowe. And he's going to send me out a new book because mine is from the first printing. So I was pretty happy about that. I sent him in some pictures and we did it all via chat and everything. And he said, okay, watch your mail.
Hi, Marlo.
Marlowe.
Thanks,
Make me
man.
hunt you down, Marlowe.
Very nice.
Also-
First print too.
Yeah, just send us your address and we'll all come by with some beers.
Yeah, let me see that. Got like all this stuff barely hanging in there. When was this thing produced? August 2014. So, also Gary Kilgore. Yeah, our Scottish Dragonborn. He emailed me a question for myself and the rest of you hard slingers. Do I/we have a favorite NPC? And I emailed each of you and said that I wanted to broaden that and add villain to that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the room and around the digital rage room and ask each of you. And it doesn't have to be from one of our own AP. It could be an AP you ran or ran in or whatever. So let's go with Junior. You first, babe.
Oh, hands down. How could I not love Kendra? The banter back and forth between Alice and Kendra.
Yeah.
That had to be my favorite NPC interaction.
And her daddy was racist against half elves.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
I know you're a wood elf. Straight up
Wooden elf.
Wooden elf.
Make Petros
Ken-
Lorimore sound like some old hillbilly.
Yeah, he totally was. He's old school.
Shotgun waiting.
It's all right.
Chris.
Kendra didn't mind.
What did you have in mind for your favorite NPC/villain that you have encountered in the past?
Riders of the Storm, Edinger.
Oh, yes, well,
I
of course.
dug Edinger.
Edinger was one hell of an NPC.
Freaking 80-year-old dude still out there fighting.
And no spoilers,
Awesome.
but he ends up the way most of my NPCs wind up. Ryan, did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah, I did. So I had the distinct pleasure of being in a particularly long campaign that went on for like 8 years or something like that. One of the first NPCs we had met was Madman Marlowe, and he was basically a retired adventurer that was like up in the hills behind the town that we kind of started in, and he wound up being someone that the party had run across and got a little direction from for like one of their first adventures. And I remember a particular interaction where he's like, here, you're going to need these, and he puts down a lead vial and a glass vial, and he says, alchemist fire healing potion. Stops, looks at them both, switches them. Alchemist fire healing potion. There you go. And it was delightful. It was by an inspiration of a DM for me. If you ever do happen to listen, Andy French, you're amazing, and I appreciate everything I've learned from you.
Well, I hope Andy listens to the show. If he doesn't, next time you see him, take his device and subscribe to the show for him. He'll appreciate it later on. David.
I'm sure he will.
I was gonna go actually into Carrying Crown, like Junior 2. I really like the Father Charlatan character, the villain,
Oh yeah.
because he's different. And I actually ran that, so I knew how it gives you the like the tactics, and it's different than just like lurk in the corner and then hit them with surprise attack. It's like they don't even know you're there. And whoever leaves the room last is now haunted. And then like you're supposed to take the player into another room and tell them this whole thing where like they know there's something weird, but then the other players are seeing their body like on the ground. It's
Isn't it the
it's
last
awesome.
person to, or the person to touch him, or the last person to leave the room? Like if somebody touches his rope or something,
Like
his book or something. He had he had a
something like
book.
that.
Yeah, I
But
remember that.
I just like that it was like so non-traditional, but they were playing with the mechanics a little bit, and there was like it forced you to role play with people and separating the party like that, to where one guy is like mentally thinking what's going on with my character, and then the other people are like, he's dying. What do we do? He's dying,
Well, I remember that
or she's dying.
when you guys ran through Carrion Crown Junior, you and the rest of the group, you guys actually took out the baddest baddie first. And I was like, you guys totally went out of order, but I didn't say anything. But I was like,
That's what
"Fuck,
happens
you
when
guys
it's
just
open world.
grease this guy." Well, I'm going to cheat. I've actually got 3 of them, and one of them is from Writers on the Store, and that would be Fallant, because he was a previous PC of mine, and I just liked how he became an NPC that, after you guys decided to front kick in the door of his shack on Island of the Dam, that he just fireballed the shit out of you guys. I like that. Also from Carrion Crown, Murda Straylock, who was a councilwoman. I really liked her because she had a lot of things going on in the background, a lot of things that she was making deals with people that you guys were starting to find out. And I think they ended up burning her house down, like consecrating her house. And none of that stuff was in the AP. It's just things that you guys started feeding into. And
Was she the young foxy one?
yeah, she was the young one. And she was kind of at odds with the other older councilman. I can't remember his name at this time, but and then finally Heisenberg from our Delta Green scenarios. But if you haven't listened to Delta Green scenarios, you got to check those things out. By the way, each and every one of those APs can be found on any one of those podcast apps. Make sure you listen to them. You can download them, leave that 5-star rating and review. Oh, and by the way, Gary, of course, Arnold Devi, the Baroness's son, who was portrayed by none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger, because who else would play such an impressive individual? I know you said that you wanted him to be played by Schwarzenegger. Of course, he's played by him.
Can we all agree to do like a one shot where we're all doing Arnold voice?
We're going to have to do that. The other day, I was
dear.
talking to the hard slingers of y'all, Sam and Tony. We're trying to schedule the DG next playthrough, and Sam had mentioned that he noticed that we were on episode 44 of the Dragon's Demand, and he was wondering how many more episodes of this Runaway Train would there be. And I said, well, we're about 2/3 of the way through it, and to get an understanding, Carrion Crown was 64 pages long, and it ran for 33 episodes, the last episode being a farewell to Ravengrow. We're on episode 45, and we still got a third of this book left. And that's all because of the role playing of you guys and the different ways that you guys do things, and which is great. I mean, the content is different, the pacing is different than the other APs, and of course the players, you guys, are different with a different play style. And like I say it all the time, man, I'm really proud of you guys. It's
Yeah,
making me happy.
In Carrion Crown, I think we spent a lot of time in the town and getting to know a lot of the NPCs, and before we even ended up in the prison.
Yeah.
For the people at home, Chris just made the docking gesture.
No, I was just
Oh.
following Warren.
And you know that gesture. But yeah, I mean, that only went for like you guys didn't even get to the prison until I think episode 12. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We are here for Dragon's Demand, so let's try to get through this runaway. So you guys had found your way into the lower levels of Hunclay's Manor. You entered into his more of like a construction type of a room where you found bits and pieces in a large mechanized unit that looked like it had been basically had exploded or imploded, just taken damage, where it's not doing anything anymore. Stubby, you found a hidden door which took you through a long hallway, brought you up and around, and you found the latrine for Hunclay's Manor. Covered your ass there, Paizo. You didn't put one in this place. And then as you guys went down a hallway, you saw that it forked to the east or continued going south. You went to the east for about, I think, 20 feet because there was a door partially ajar. And on the other side of the door, you heard a Now you have your marching order as Dempsey, Warren, Stubby, and Valadier. Is that the way you guys want to remain?
I think so.
Agreed.
I'm good with it.
Well, already then. Dempsey, you're at the door. Tell me what you would like to do.
I think Dempsey's gonna turn to Warren and he's gonna be like, Mr. Magic, you hear this noise? Is this one of these machines?
I appear kind of cock my head to the side a little bit and try to focus on the sound. If it does anything, that's a whole 7 on a perception check.
Nothing.
Okay. Can I am hearing this, right?
If you're directly behind him, you're hearing it. I'm imagining that you guys are in 5-foot increments. Stubby, you don't hear it as well. You do hear some kind of a light commotion. Valadier, you don't hear anything at all. Bringing up the rear like that.
Okay. I just kind of like cock my head to the side a little bit, listen for probably a solid like 10 seconds, and then just totally I'm shaking my head. It is not loud enough for me to get any detail from it. I can barely hear it as is.
Yeah, even though the door is partially ajar, it's only maybe 2 feet, open 2 feet. It's a 10-foot wide door too. It's the same width as the hallway, but the door itself is thick. It's probably maybe 6 inches of wood that's banded with large iron bands and a handle, but there's no lock on it.
So he wouldn't necessarily, this does not appear to be a door where he would try to keep something locked away. Like he's not specifically keeping something in there or away or out from there.
Are you asking me, or are you making an insight check to that?
I mean, I will make an insight check if I need to, but that is from the description. That is what Warren is going to assume with an insight of 14.
You would think that the way the door is set up, that it's probably not trying to keep anything in or out. You don't see a lock on the door, so it doesn't make sense that that would be that way. So,
okay.
And the door isn't cracked, right?
No, in fact, it's a very well-made door. It's not that it's been recently oiled, but it's far from dry rotted or anything.
Well, I meant like, it's not open where we could do the old looky-loo through.
No, it's open by 2
with
feet.
the open.
It's open 2 feet. It swings in from the right to the left. So the hinges are on your left side against the northern wall, but they're on the inside of the room. And the door is partially ajar.
Want to do like the guys from Porky's, and I'm just kind of like looking out, like trying to see if there's anything good in there. A little stealth.
Okay, and as you look inside there, I'm going to send you guys what the room looks like as I describe it to you. Dempsey, as you look inside, you see that this room is probably 20 feet by 30 feet, 20 feet from east to west, 30 from north to south. You see against the eastern wall a small rickety table with a lone book on it. And in the southern part of the room, you see a large circle on the ground, about 10 feet in diameter, with these runes on it. And in the center of this circle, you see this small creature. It looks almost like a baby cherub-looking creature that's part human and part fly. And it's looking at the door, kind of hovering a little bit in the air. But it's not crossing the border of the intricacies on the ground beneath it. It's kind of like hovering above, moving around the interior circumference of it, occasionally coming down on its insect-like feet, kind of pointing towards you, towards the door. I see you.
So
Takes to the air again a little. Who are you?
I think we might have another Lodo.
Are you saying that out loud?
I said that to Warren. You may want to get a look at this. Looks like what was down in that cell.
Oh, Lordy. I swear.
I'll
Could
step
be-
into the room.
Loda was the homunculus that was in the
Mm-hmm.
observatory.
This is going to sound really like Arcanist, but to Dempsey, they all look the same. You know what I mean?
That's arcanist.
I will like look at this thing and it'll, like be almost just completely lost on its appearance as I take a moment and try to recall if I have read anything about a creature such as this. That's not terrible. That's a 17 on an Arcana.
He definitely looks demonic. Probably
Mhm.
a type of minor devil, perhaps.
Well,
Doesn't-
okay.
doesn't fit demonic though.
Is it a demon or is it a devil? Because they're similar but different.
I just said it looks like a minor devil. Does not look like a demon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't confuse me.
How tall is this thing? Or
It's real
size
small.
wise?
It's probably Stabby's height, maybe a little bit taller, maybe 4 feet, 4.5 feet, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But it's
I'll-
robust and round.
Is it naked?
It's not wearing any clothes, but you really can't tell the gender of this thing other than it has short hair, but don't assume it's gender.
I once inside the room and realizing that we're dealing with some form of a devil, you will tell everyone else, do not go anywhere near that circle.
Please, I've been in here so long. Please, let me talk, please.
And I will stand before it and kind of bow.
So do you come into the room to actually
Mhm.
put your hand? Okay.
Yes, I will
Is he
stand.
alone, or anybody coming in
Well,
with him?
Dempsey said that he came in.
Mhm. I'm in the
Okay.
room and I was making room for the other guys to come into.
Valdir wants to go in.
With
Keeping
Stabby
keeping
doing.
a breadth of the old devil. Carefully,
Need to
carefully.
get some wings going.
I imagine Stabby's like back at the door. He's got like his short bow ready, just like drawn, trained.
I have not entered the room yet. Stabby is I'm curious. I guess I'm more curious why everybody has entered
Mhm.
when we really haven't discussed, what is going on. So I'm staying kind of cautiously outside the door.
Tabi, come on. There's abomination in here. Come look.
Valadir, I don't want whatever's in there to know that I'm here.
Nothing back there. Please.
They used to
come
date.
Talk with me. I might be a daddy.
Oh my goodness.
I will stand in front of it and give a very not a bow, but like a nod of recognition. And in Infernal, I will say, Captive of Hunclay, what are you doing here?
My name is Cherit. The old man had me come here to answer his questions. I refused, so he held me here.
What were the questions he was asking you?
He wanted to know how to magically or permanently disguise a book to look like something else. Please, I've been here for so long. Weeks more. I want to return home. At that point, his wings kind of let him touch down on the ground. And you see his 6 appendages kind of like post on the ground. He's looks kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say to it? Is it dying?
No. Hunkley summoned it here to answer some questions. However, this creature was not particularly cooperative. Do you know? I'll turn back and switch back to Infernal and say, what was the nature of the book that he was asking about?
He was a very obstinate old man. He threatened to leave me bound here to ponder the wisdom of my actions. He never said the book. He wanted the information. I wouldn't give it to him because he kept me here so long. And then he never returned. Have you seen him? Is he around?
Oh, we have seen him. Just the other day, I believe. We are simply just house sitting for him.
So you're responsible for me being here still?
Are we the ones that put you there? I think not.
No, but you could release me and send me back to hell. I will give you a secret.
That's a tempting thought. And I'll turn to the others and say, now, I know you're probably shocked by this. This creature is trying to bargain its way out of here, and it is offering a secret. And by the way, as I'm turning to the others, I'm speaking in a more hushed tone and standing a little closer to the door so that Stabby would be able to hear.
I can read your anus.
I hear there's a lot of unusual skills that devil kind have.
He looks like he's taken offense by that, but he tends to simmer down and let you convey with your comrades.
Can I tell how far up the devil food chain this thing is?
Like a hierarchy?
Yeah.
From your last check, I would venture to say he's pretty low.
Okay. Nothing really near in power to the shear that we defeated, right?
The shear was a fiend. He was not a
well,
devil.
So devils and demons are fiends.
Well, this was a motherfucking fiend.
Okay. Fair enough.
You see that guy right there? Valadir? He's wide.
Oh, God.
What?
That shows you what kind of fiend that shear was, just by him being with your boys right now.
Right. I'll glance over to that little table in over at the east wall. Can I tell what's on there?
Yeah, you see a real thin, very worn leather book, to the point where the leather is almost like yellowing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
all that's on there. It looks like it's probably I don't know, maybe 6x9.
Okay. And there's no other notable features about the room aside from the circle, this devil, and the book on the stand.
That is all that is in this room.
Okay.
There's nothing else in there at all.
I'll kind of turn to everyone else and say, look, we could stay here and engage with the devil for a time and see if we could learn anything useful. I do not think that is a wise use of our time, even if he does have information that we need. I'm going to inspect this book here, unless anyone has any other thoughts, and then I think we should be on our way.
Stubby, are you still out of the room?
I am.
Okay.
Creatures contained. I say we close door and come back later.
Dempsey, do you have a thought?
I mean, I'm good with that. What kind of secret do you think this thing might know?
Well, I do not believe he's terribly high up in the hierarchy of hell. So I don't think that there's many. He would have a number of arcane secrets that even an experienced wizard would be interested in. But
Maybe
I
he
don't-
can tell us something about Hunkley, though. Something a little bit closer to home.
I'm sure he could, but I do not have enough skill dealing with otherworldly beings. I say it as I kind of like look back over my shoulder in the direction of the devil, but not at the devil.
And he can't hear you. He's
No.
trying to. No, he's
That's fine.
trying to make his.
I, Warren, am doing that for a completely other reason. As I make this statement of I'm not skilled enough with otherworldly beings to try to elicit information such as that. Let me see what this book is. It may be something that would be prudent for us, and then I think we should be on our way.
Can this thing understand us?
It probably knows some common. I don't know how well it would speak. If you want to talk with it for a moment, do not
Maybe
agree.
you soothe it with a song.
Don't know.
Not-
His buzzing noises is kind of annoying.
Do not agree to anything, and do your best not to answer any of its questions.
We could sing duets.
It's Wednesday night karaoke at the Greyhounds. You know place?
For the place, I'd be more than happy to join you. Let me out. Yeah. You, me,
No.
I play the wing.
No, we will not be letting you out. I will walk over to the table real quick and see if I can determine the nature of that book.
Okay. As you open it up, you see it's got 87 pages to it. It's not very thick. The paper inside is rough, coarse, and everything in it is handwritten. You see it contains all kinds of notes, but it's probably going to take you about an hour or so for in-depth study of this book.
Okay. Can I determine if the book itself is magical?
Make your Arcana check.
Uh, 16.
16. It contains no magical attributes about it. It just seems to be some kind of a notebook that is well used and well written in.
Okay. I will close it. Take it with me.
Make an insight check. Let's do that. Or investigation. Do investigation.
Oh, investigation?
Yeah.
That is a 16 as well.
16. Everything from as you're flipping through the pages and whatnot, just trying to realizing that this is going to take me some time. You realize though that the entire book is written by the same individual.
This thing.
Just by the same individual.
Books that
Oh,
are written by the
by
same
this-
person?
Whoa.
Oh,
Well, different from a lot of other things that have been cobbled together in the past from other magic users and stuff. Sometimes they'll get something and they'll put it in their personal binder, and it may be just leaflets that they've collected through the years. So
No, I had misheard you. I thought you had said about the same person.
no, I'm sorry.
Bye.
About the
No,
same
no,
person.
it's fine. Okay. I close it, pick it up, and turn around to leave. And I say, this will, as I hold it up, this will take me some time to deal with. And this is not something I'm prepared to deal with unless I have perhaps a full day. I say as I gesture to the little demon, the devil fly baby.
I could help you. I could tell you secret.
like, we're gonna go for takeout. We'll be right back. And then he walks out.
Take me with you. Take out. Hello.
Let's
And then
leave.
close the door.
Are you still there?
What was going on in there? What happened?
Oh, there is a creature in there that Hunkley has bound to a particular spot, a devil of some type. And while it's not particularly strong, I'm sure it has much knowledge that would be useful to us. However, questioning a devil to get worthy information is a time-consuming process and not time that we have.
Why didn't you just kill it?
That's what I'm saying.
Because I don't know the full extent of its powers, even if it is not something that is particularly strong. If we attack it, we break the circle that it is in, and therefore it can use a number of different things. It could be a devil that, while physically weak, may know powerful enchantment spells. Would you like to be charmed by something like that, Stabby?
No, but we have you. We have a powerful magic user among.
You have a
group.
powerful magic user who has expended most of his magic at the moment.
You need a rest.
I mean, we need to finish with this manor and move on. I would much rather let the Baroness know of this creature being here, and then letting her know that we can either question it if she wishes, or we can destroy it at her decision.
So you're saying let the Baroness decide this creature's fate?
Yes.
Now, as an impartial DM, there was a certain there was a certain criteria that she specified for the coin that she's paying. Remove traps and remove all threats.
But it's not threatening right now.
Yeah, is it considered a threat if it's in the thing? You know where it's going to be.
Contained. It's
Come back with a
Chekhov's
SWAT team.
devil right here.
Just don't open jar.
It
Or
could
indeed-
kill you if you let it out, but if it never gets let out, will it kill you? Who knows?
Warren, do you believe that we would be placing the group at adverse risk if we engaged at this time? Do you feel it better that we?
I mean, it is always better that we come back with all of our resources. I do not think we would have another incident, and I look over at Valadier, that would require us to have more help. But that said, I also don't know the full extent of this thing's powers.
I just got this tuned, baby.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll.
I think that,
Just say one.
Flint's body is still warm, and it's not going to be a good move for us to, it's not respectful for us to run into another battle unprepared and then somebody else dies.
For all you know, Caladestina might be spooning Flynn's body.
Come here, little preacher boy.
Dempsey, Warren.
Let us take a vote among us, and you included Valadier as you are currently among our group. who wishes to simply deal with this creature here and now?
I say nay.
Stabby, Dempsey?
Warren, you've convinced me at this point that we should move along, and perhaps we come back before we leave the manor and deal with this creature.
It's like there's a voice somewhere telling me that we should deal with this thing. So, yeah, I vote that, but I think after a rest would be a good idea.
Okay. Let us continue down the hall then. Dempsey, if you don't mind.
Yep. So continue looking for floor pit traps. See what's next.
Okay, Dempsey, so you journey the 30 feet back to the main hallway, which leads to the south. You see it goes down for 90 feet more before it turns to the east. As you get down to the corner, you look to the east and you see that hallway itself goes for about 100 feet. Still 10 feet wide before it turns to the north.
Just keep moving.
Okay.
Just keep walking, looking for the next place of interest.
Keep trucking down this hallway. When it gets to the end at the east wall, you see it turns to the north. And it looks like it goes up for about 35 feet, and there is a door against the west wall of the hallway, but all the way at the end of the hallway.
I'm sorry, what kind of door?
Just a door. That's
Oh, just a
it's at the end of the hallway,
Okay.
but against the western wall. And
Okay.
that's 35 feet or so up to the north.
Let's approach and see if it's gonna kill us.
Oh, I like killing
It's a
things.
mimic!
Chomp, chomp. Tell me what you'd like to do.
I will approach and just make sure the surrounding area, and then I'm gonna call to Stabby. All right, do you want to give a look at this door and see if it's dangerous, please? What do you think?
Hey, Warren, do you detect any magic on this door?
Does my 22 Arcana check determine if there's any magic or funky thing going on with this door? Hanky
There's
panky?
no magic emanating from this door, and it's like a slight side note. So far, everything you've encountered down here has not been magically protected. You know, it's like if you found the secret door, it's almost as though whatever was down here.
I could very well be jinxing this, and I'm hoping by me acknowledging that I'm jinxing this, I'm not actually jinxing this. However, I believe that because we are behind the secret door, Hunkley may have been a little less diligent with some of his magical traps. I hope that does not extend to what's keeping our companion back there stuck in that room. But no magic here, Stabby.
Warren, you mentioned that your magical abilities are depleted at this time.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I can still hold my own. I would prefer to
Your
hold
own
my
what?
own.
Your own what?
Hey, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, sir.
They shit
Or
and
eldritch
throw
bolts.
stones.
But if there is danger, I can still bring bring a fair amount of my power to bear.
Okay, we don't have Flint anymore.
No, that I understand.
Rub that in.
He's like, what am I, chopped liver?
I'm right here, Stubby.
You don't like the loot?
Valadier, with all due respect, you haven't shown us what you can do in battle yet, so I'm not
Start strumming, baby. Listen to this solo.
Tell me what it makes you feel. I understand, Stubby. You have lost a good friend.
we have, and I appreciate that you're respective of that. I pull out the keys that I have. I believe it's bronze key, skull key, and I'll have to go back through my notes.
Should be
I
an
know it's
iron
a
key.
Iron key. Thank you. Wait, was that Flint's voice?
I was just thinking, I could just see like Valadir as he's playing, just tears going down his eyes, that his own music is just moving him so much.
I get caught up in emotional.
First, I'm going to check this door for traps. First
Okay.
off.
Go for it.
Okay. So that is ooh, I rolled a 1, but halfling luck allows me to roll again.
Nice.
Such garbage.
Oh, I rolled 1 again, and I have halfling luck and get to roll again.
Is that how halfling luck works?
You just
I don't
like
know,
never
man.
roll
Somebody
ones.
needs to,
Fuck yeah.
we need to look into our own mechanics
I
and
was
answer
gonna
our
say,
own fucking
give
question.
me just a moment here.
Let's look.
I say, people at home, write in if that's how it works.
They're writing in to ask us how that shit works.
No.
Blind leading the blind.
Re-roll
Let's
again,
see.
Stibby. We'll clear
When
this up on
you
the back
roll
end.
a 1 on the d20 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can re-roll the dice and must use the new roll.
Oh,
Oh,
epic
okay.
fail.
So, a
Look at
one.
But you can still
that.
do it as often as you like. There's no like short rest or anything. That's awesome.
No, that's it. He's done. One and done.
Yeah. One and done.
Literally
I rolled a
and
1.
done. So you do not seem to detect anything out of the ordinary with this door.
Okay.
You're probably
I'm go-
still mentally preoccupied with the little conversation you guys had about whatever was in that room that you yourself did not see.
I'm going to first try hey, Dempsey, can you try this door first? Just
Love
try
to.
just try the handle and see if it opens.
Sure. Yeah. So he just reaches out.
And it's unlocked. Just simple as
I'm
that.
still going with that. Just because it's a 1 doesn't mean we know it's a 1. So he's
Yeah,
like,
no, as far as
"You-
he's
you like
concerned,
it?
it's not
Sure."
trapped. As far as he's
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah, as far as
There you
I'm
go.
concerned, it's not trapped.
as he steps away 10 feet.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. Yeah. So
Go,
Dempsey's
go.
walking in like he owns the place.
Okay. You see the door opens up and onto a 10-foot wide hallway still. And it goes for about 40 feet before you see it open onto a room around the corner to the north, but you can't see that from the door. You don't know what's around that corner to the north.
I feel like he should open it, and he does that thing where he starts like he's having a ellipse, whatever you call it. He's like epilepsy.
Seizure.
He's like freaking out, and you guys are like, ah, and he's like, ah, pussies, and just keeps walking.
So we're-
Yeah. Nice.
Sergeant.
right
I
if
lean-
you
I
brought
lean
this
over to
individual to the
Stabby.
show.
I lean over to Stabby. How about when we go back to deal with that devil, we just throw him into the circle with it.
Dude, it'd be like a
Lauren,
sumo
you-
fighting, you know?
Like
You
it
gotta
won't
get this
hurt
circle.
you. Go right in. Dempsey's like, perfect.
Oh, Warren, you crack me up.
So you see this elongated corridor stretching for 40 feet. You know that the room curves around to the north. And at the end of the 40 feet, it looks as though a portion of the room is probably another 20 feet beyond that. That's just how far the hallway is before. But from where you are, you can't see much of anything else.
Do you want to take your magic hand and bring the torch in?
Yes, certainly. Oh, that's right. We have a floating torch, don't we? Yes, I will have the torch float down the hallway.
Are you following the torch, Dempsey?
No, I'm gonna wait until it gets in. I want to get a look at what's in the room first.
Okay, it was still low lit, but as you send the torch down, it begins to illuminate more of the hallway and stuff. You see it about 25 feet down the hallway. You see that there are certain inscriptions along the walls, on the ceiling, on the floor.
Everything in this place is magic.
Just about.
I'll just slowly, cautiously start going in. So I'll get
And-
up to where the torch is.
And the walls and the floor and just like all the bricks and everything, they're still radiating that low hum of magic, right?
Yeah, and that's been consistent throughout the entire structure. which I didn't want you to confuse that with when you're detecting magic on other things. You say, well, can I detect magic? I'm already assuming that as part of the process, and I'm assuming you're looking for something in excess to what you've already detected.
Right.
So like I said, about 25 feet, you start seeing these inscriptions along the walls and the ceiling and the floor.
Okay.
How far do you send this torch down?
I can only send it down 30 feet.
Okay,
It
so
can't
you
go
could
further
send
further
it
than
5
that.
feet deeper then, if you wanted to. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, I'll have the torch go out to its limit, and then it's giving off right now 40 feet of bright light and another 40 feet of dim light. Seeing these inscriptions, do they appear to be like marking out a particular place in the room, like an area? Do they appear to be sort of a formula? Or is it like does it appear to be like a message or something?
The way that they're inscribed on the floors and the walls and the ceiling and whatnot, if they go beyond just that point, not just in the hallway, but it looks like they extend into the room and possibly to the north from everywhere that you can see.
To the north.
What the fuck? So from where you guys are at the doorway, even though you do have vision that'll grant you to see, it's still pretty obscure, the clarity of what you're looking at, unless you were to get closer or send something down to take a sample and bring it back, or some kind of a snapshot or whatever. I'm trying to get an idea of what you guys want to do. I don't want to take away your agency, but I don't want to give you anything without you telling me something.
I'm just gonna run my hand down the wall and
Now you're back by the door though, right? Or are you?
I was following the torch in.
Okay. Well, he said that it went the full extent, so it went 5 feet deeper than the start of these inscriptions on the wall. So it's at 30 feet into the hallway. So as you go along and you step onto the markings and whatnot, put your hands on it. It feels just like something is painted on the stones themselves.
And he's just like, what does all this do? You have this stuff in your house?
And it's like gibberish to you.
I just look at you, Dempsey, and just say, with corked eyebrow, my house has crumbled to dust probably about a century ago. That said, many practitioners use some variation of this for a number of different things. I did not look closely at the magic circle of that devil back there, but it's possible something like this was used roughly or a different version of this was used to keep him there. I'll go up to where Dempsey is and have the torch go out the appropriate amount of distance there to still keep it at my max range.
Okay.
And try to get like a kind of a better idea of this room and like what was its function.
Well, from where you are, 5 feet into the inscription, you send the torch deeper. You see that the room itself goes to the northern portion. It's at least 20 feet wide, but as the torch moves towards the wall, you see that about 10 feet of the southern wall of that hallway that's down at the farthest end, you just see this white opaque wall, like a light, like a white opaque light, just taking up 10 feet wide from floor to ceiling. And as the torch has moved, you see that those inscriptions, those symbols and whatnot are still within the room and on the floor and the ceiling and everything as well. Obviously not on the white opaque wall though.
Was this some sort of scrying room? So, okay, bear with me here for a second. So, if you're like a woodsmith, just to throw out an example, and you walk into another woodsmith's workshop, you're going to recognize pretty quickly what it is. But if you go into say, a carpenter or a mason's shop, like workroom, you're not going to be anywhere near as familiar, but you're still going to have a pretty good idea of like what the room is for. So
Okay.
by that same extension, can I get like a...
Well, let me ask you this. Are you a scryer? Can you scry?
I mean, I have minimal divination magic. Most of my magic and powers and such are of a more forceful nature.
Of course it is. This doesn't look like anything along those lines.
Okay.
In fact, make a history check.
Okay.
In fact, everybody make a history check. Actually, where are you at, Stubby?
I'm still back at the door.
Okay.
I haven't moved.
Then you don't. Valadier, where you don't need to.
I was gonna say I'm probably in the back with Stibby.
Yeah. Dempsey, why don't you make a history check as well?
Dose.
Dose?
Dose.
Dose.
I don't know squat.
What do you got, Warren?
An 18.
In 18, some of these symbols look very similar to the ones that you saw in the room where the shear was at. Not all of
Stupid
them.
question.
Not all of them.
Is
but
anything
some of
else
them.
in this room with us? Or are we just
You guys are still in
ignoring
the
the elephant in the
hallway.
room?
Well, you guys are still in the hallway. Until you guys tell me where you're going, I can't talk about anything else. I don't want to do that.
Oh, I apologize. I thought Dempsey and I had actually stepped a few feet into the room.
Okay. That was as you enter the more common room proper, you see that, like I said, it's about 20 feet from east to west outside of that hallway, and it goes forward about 30 feet.
Okay.
You see against the eastern wall that there's a rickety looking little table, and on this table looks like a set of armor, leather looking armor, a scimitar, and a short sword. And like I said, to the south you see that there's this bright white opaque light wall that's just there.
Mr. Stabby, I think there might be another secret door in here. And he's gonna like gesture at it, like, look at this thing. And maybe go up and like push it.
You go up and push it to see if there's anything there. I need you to make a con save for me.
Oh fuck.
By the way, I'm still back at the door.
9.
What did you get?
I got a 9.
Okay.
But I have halfling luck, so I'll
Oh,
You gotta really want that.
I can reroll 7s, so it's
Hold on a second, I gotta find something here.
luck of the Irish for St.
7s
Patty's
and
Day.
8s.
7s and 8s are wild tonight. Oh fuck.
You take 16 points of radiate damage and are immediately blinded.
Okay. So you just see him immediately come back and he's like clutching his face. He's like, bad decision, bad decision, bad decision. Stay away from the wall.
Oh. Dempsey, I could have told you that one.
But you didn't.
I know. Too bad he didn't take hearing damage. You would have heard him tell you, I told you so.
Okay. Seeing
Stubby, you want to check that for a hidden door?
I'm back at the door that didn't fucking blind me.
He just kind of closes the door on you guys. It's just fuck you.
So we go to Greyhound, Stubby.
I'm where does our current so Valadier's with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Warren, you're up by Dempsey.
Yeah, you see
no.
you see Warren and Dempsey go into the room. You see Warren look to the right. You see Dempsey go to the south wall. Hey, Stubby, check this. And you just see this blinding burst of light. And you just see him walk around, just turn around with just
I'll
8-ball eyes.
carefully go up to him, and say, Dempsey, back this way, before I actually put my hand on him, and then put my hand on his shoulder and carefully guide him back.
You
He's
know, this
gonna
would
do
be
the-
an opportune moment to punch him in the back of the
No,
neck
no,
like
no.
he did
It's
to
gonna
you.
It's good. That is a good idea. It's gonna be like in the Van Damme movie where the guy shoots the powder in his eyes. So the referee comes up and he like
Oh,
grabs
yeah.
him and he almost gets him. And then he's like, yeah.
The dim mark.
Um,
Brick
Okay.
not hit the back.
given
Nice.
given that effect that just happened to Dempsey, and like as I'm trying to figure this out, I'm like pulling him away from the wall, going to guide him back to the door, and I kind of like try to like hand him off to Stabby and Valadier. And I'm standing essentially where I can see that wall. And I can also see like Dempsey, Valadier, and Stabby, and just be like, just looking at it, seeing that effect. Does that give me any insight as to what this room might be for?
The room that has everything in there, right?
Yeah. Because you said it's largely just got the inscriptions, and then there's that wall on
Right.
one side. Okay.
From what you can gather from the inscriptions on the floor and the ceiling, they're not like everywhere. I mean, they're just like on the floor,
Mhm.
ceiling, walls, and everything. It would almost seem as though Hung Clay probably had something down here.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly he was trying to keep.
He was trying to what?
Keep. Because you can recall that the sheer fiend that you guys dealt with, there were similar markings along.
Right. But
You don't
had
see
the
any letters on these walls like you did down there.
But he had the sheer prisoner. So why would he bring the sheer in here? The only thing I could think of would be is that this might be a more effective room to interrogate him.
Dempsey, are you okay? Dempsey, are you
No
okay?
idea. He's like, what?
Why don't you play him a ballad there, Valadier?
It's okay.
Think,
You don't need your eyes to appreciate good music.
Blind
He is gonna,
by the light,
like-
man. Lit up like a deuce.
Can I-
Runner in the night.
Nice. Can I blindly like pull out a
Sure.
potion and drink it?
I'm sure Valadier will be more than happy to help you with that.
Lean your head back. I'll help you.
Oh my.
Sure, blindness.
Are you gonna wash my hair? It's getting romantic.
I could play you a song while you drink this.
I'm gonna do a quick intelligence check if I can. I'm gonna try to figure out, is that wall on the opposite side of the did like we wrap around in such a way that that wall is the opposite side of the Shears dungeon or the Shears cell?
You want to do an intelligence check? Let me
Yes,
look at-
basically I'm trying to like literally mentally map out which way we've come.
Do a survival check.
Okay. No, that is a 4.
Yeah, you've been so turned around with all the twists and the turns and the hallways and the secret door and the this and that. You're not really certain where in relation to the Shears prison that you are right now.
Okay.
Am I still blind? How long is the blind?
It's going to probably last about a minute or so,
Okay.
but I'm assuming that he's warned. He don't give a fuck about you, so he's just going about his business. So you figure about 35 seconds later.
I passed him off to Valadier and Stabby. I
How
figure my
sweet,
business with
yeah,
him is
yeah.
done.
Here, your kid just shit himself. Hands
Good
up.
change.
He's like the
Cute
cool
kid,
uncle.
but he stinks.
Done.
So after
And you-
about 45 seconds or so, your eyes start blinking and you start seeing spots and then fuzzy vision, and then eventually your eyes clear away and you see that, yeah, you took a shit ton of damage.
And you
Yeah.
said from outside the door you weren't able to see any of the ruins or anything like that, the scribes onto the wall, correct? From where,
Only
like, if you were
because of the
standing-
distance.
Okay.
It's just so far, and they're not sticking off the wall; they're on the wall. So it's like if you were to look down a wall and if somebody wrote "hazard paint wet," you probably couldn't see it. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to get closer to it and see what it's talking about.
Okay. I'll come back and say I'm not certain. I have a couple of ideas of what he may have used the space for, but it is dangerous in here. But I do not have the means to undanger this room.
Undanger the room.
Wow, who took damage there that time, man? I want all of you to take an intelligence.
Undanger the room. That's awesome.
Unfuckify this shit. I cannot do.
That is
Exactly.
so good.
I
Just
am so
imagine
glad you like
what-
that there.
What's left in the room? Do we need to go back in there? I'm not afraid.
Maybe you cover your eyes with your hand next time you touch the wall.
No, I think that I think nobody
Just
should go
headbutt
near
it
that
with
wall.
my hand. Yeah.
Perhaps you take
Um,
running start.
I make an after you gesture to Valadier. At this point, Warren thinks that he's like a useful tool.
Yeah, show me you're
An
useful by
instant.
touching that wall.
Not the
Exactly.
Is that what we're doing?
tool.
Okay.
Useful instrument.
That's called the canary in the magic coal mine. I don't know what else I can find out about this room. My Hunkley's skill was far beyond mine. I have a few theories of what he might have used this room for, but
I want to look at that armor and the scimitar.
oh,
Okay,
okay.
there was a short sword too.
I'll go over there with Dempsey. Don't touch it.
Make
And
an
I will-
make an intelligence check as you're inspecting these things.
Me or
Dempsey.
Oh, I fail.
Whoa.
That is that's a 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looking at it, I mean, your eyes are still blinky and tearing up, whether it's from the white light or Valadier's soft strumming or whatnot, but you're not really certain. It just looks like a set of armor and 2 weapons to you.
Cool it with the whammy bars.
The whammy pedal. Wow, wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Is the weapons or armor, do they appear to be magical? That is a not a hard 20.
They all 3 of them do appear to be giving off some kind of arcane enforced imbuement.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I'll let you know that the suit of leather is treated to look like form-fitting full plate, but it functions as normal leather armor. And it's a +1 scimitar and a +1 short sword.
Okay. These definitely have some magic to them. It appears to be a basic enchantment, a little bit more accurate, a little bit more damaging, but nothing too extravagant.
I feel like all the magic stuff, you're like, I'm going to take this so it can't hurt anybody. And you just like put it in your own pack.
He's just, at this point, how many books you got on you right now, Warren?
Enough for a
Right.
library.
I know, right? The Dewey Decimal over here.
Well, no, let's see. Warren stashed. I stashed that one book that you know who wants. And then I think what
And
I
you
pulled.
grabbed 4 books out of a chest, and then you just grabbed that journal too. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, those 4 books I grabbed because I was like, we don't want random people to find these. The other ones are at least in like a locked case. It's kind of obvious that it's. Anyways,
These are first editions.
Right.
They're signed.
Well, these would be property of Hunclay's relative now. So, and I will very pointedly turn my back to them and leave. Dempsey's still there.
Did you write them on your inventory?
No, because I have not picked them up.
No. I mean, I'm not going to take them. I'm honest. As I look at the rogue. Oh.
The rogue is scared of coming into this room.
Yeah, I think honestly, in character, I would just move on.
Yeah. No, Warren would in this case as well. And we'll exit the room. Where else do we have yet to go?
From everything that you can tell, you've basically ran out of maneuverability. I mean, whatever's going on with that white wall and your little bug friend and the other room, unless you do something else, those are like the two final portions of Hunclay's Manor that you really need to address.
Are we just giving up here, guys? I mean, Dempsey gets a little flash in the face. We meet this buzzing baby thing, and we're about to just call it quits.
We're not giving up. No. We're going to rest and, do some push-ups, get our strength back, right? This guy's going to play some songs.
I play songs while Warren, reads his book, his journal.
We're going to get out there and we're going to murder that freaking fly.
Dempsey, where do you suggest that we rest?
You should rest right in front of that circle. Just
anywhere.
He's got to watch you get stronger.
I feel like that room's as good as anything, right? All we have to do is sit on the ground and not do anything for an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I did. That's fine, Dempsey. I mean, I'll take first watch, but I'm not okay with us just putting our tails between our legs and rolling out of here.
Now, didn't you guys already do a short rest? You guys did one in the room that was one of the storage rooms right before you dealt with the shear demon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
So no short rest.
Nope.
Okay.
Gotta do a
So
longie.
Then we need to discuss strategy. If we know the thing is inside of a magical thing, how do we approach it and buff up and do our thing?
honestly, if we are healed, I think we have enough. Valadair has got most, if not all, of his magical ability with him. I can't do anything particularly loud and flashy, but I still have enough to be effective. I am a little bit more at a loss for this as I kind of head nod back to the radiant room. I do not know exactly what to make of it. It is magic that's far beyond anything I've learned. So, shall we go back and shall we take a moment, recover our wounds, and go back and say hello to his little friend?
Maybe we take a rest back in the toilet.
I left something for you.
I'll tell you what, why don't we take that rest and we'll reconvene next session.
Okay.
Dempsey can get his sight
I
back.
need to sit in that shitter and just stay.
Just sitting on the couch is a long rest.
And for reference to Chris, I believe Brian was indicating that we can only benefit from the short rest today.
Yeah, I understood.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, leave us that 5-star rating and review. We've also got a YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20, so if you're into watching, head on over there and hit that like bell, and don't forget to subscribe. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to check us out and look for us out there. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com, or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com, where you can also download the current show directly and view our archives and galleries. We got a lot of interesting stuff posted there, so head on over. And finally, join us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next session, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.